Hello and welcome to another episode of No Load Time. My name is Obed Velez, and with me, it's the most interesting man in the world, Joel Young.
What's good? No load time. Obed, we're back.
We're
Took a
back.
week off, but
Took a
we're
week off.
back.
Yeah, unexpected. Again,
Yes,
it's it was one of those things. It was a last minute game time decision. Um, I
right.
was very tired, but here we are, sir. How you doing, man?
No, glad to be back. Glad to be here. Doing well. Plenty of things that we didn't cover last week. Don't worry, guys. We have a carrying over into our topics for today. But at the same time, this gave me an opportunity to play a little catch up on some content. Uh, First of all, I'll talk about a TV series that just had its finale. I've not watched the finale yet, but I'm just right up to it now. And that would
All
be
right.
the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man on Disney Plus. I don't know if
Okay.
you've gotten a chance to check it out yet, Obed,
Not
but
yet. No, I watched other stuff while I was gone.
to- totally fair, totally fair. Yeah, so they were doing about 2 episodes a week being dropped, which is why quickly you're already talking finale because it feels like that just came out yesterday.
Right.
Um, you know, quite honestly, I think that this show you can tell how much it has evolved since when it was its original conception. I've talked about this in a few episodes prior, the first week when the first episodes dropped. What I will say though is for what it evolved and changed into, I still found it to be quite charming and entertaining. I think that it's a good series. I think it's a fun series. It's tough when you have so many other really good Spider-Man animated series that have come out over time. Some of the stuff that came on Disney XD and even before that that I thought was pretty decent for its time. So this one had a high bar to match. I think overall for me, again, I think it's good. I do not think it is the greatest Spider-Man that I've seen from a television standpoint or animated standpoint. But it's good. It's not to put it down by any means. There's a really cool rendition of the Spider-Man theme track that you get. This multiversal version of Spider-Man because they didn't go with the same MCU, but kind of inspired by the MCU because it's just another timeline in the MCU.
Right.
I think was very creative. You have a lot of characters that have been shifted and changed both in appearance and beyond that, and narratively where they are, good guy, bad guy, eventually become bad guy, even things like that I won't spoil. But I think that those twists kept it refreshing and kept it interesting. And if you're going in this watching for a direct, specific version, there's many comic book iterations of Spider-Man, obviously. You're gonna find a little flavor of a variety of things, not one specific. It doesn't like the more I watched it, the less that I actually felt like it was Tom Holland Spider-Man. Like I didn't think like the first episode I kind of felt that way a little bit.
Okay.
It's like, oh, it's kind of Tom, but like no, it goes on. Like this is a completely different thing. Um, I don't love it enough that I go, I wish they would have done this in live action. No, I think it's fine. It's isolated in what they're doing so far. One of the complaints that I had is that like for a Spider-Man series, they spend a lot of time on other characters, and I'm not even talking about necessarily just villains, but just some other characters of trying to almost create like a Spider-Man world and have you connect to these side characters that when you do television, that's pretty common. So I'm not saying that that's
Right.
should be not expected, but at the same time, I kind of it's a Spider-Man show. I love Spider-Man. I want to see more Spidey. So the Spidey stuff was great. Some of the stuff without Spidey was a little lacking for me. But the villains are still good. Animation's really good. Recommend people do watch it, but keep your expectations in check. Don't be expecting X-Men 97. That is what I tell every person that's asked me what I think.
Okay.
This is not
Okay.
X-Men
All
97.
right.
That is a bar way leaps and bounds beyond most of animated television right now, in my personal opinion, at
That
least for
was
the first
good.
season.
That was good.
Yeah. And I did not that I didn't think it was going to be a good show, but I didn't
Right.
have a crazy expectations. I was like, oh, it'll be fine. It'll be good to watch. Didn't think it would become one of my favorite animated shows of the last few years.
Yeah.
So
No,
we'll
it
see.
was it was it was really good. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I'll check it out. Check it out for sure.
Okay.
I got a long list to go. But I did get to knock out Castlevania Nocturne's done. It was good. Really liked it. Really enjoyed it. The ending was good. I don't know if there's gonna be another one because Devil May Cry is coming out, but
Right.
I don't know if there's gonna be another season of either Nocturne or if they do something else, right? So we'll see about that. And did you finish What If? What If?
Yeah, I
Okay,
finished What If.
let's talk What If for a little bit. Uh,
Sure.
so that was a slow start, I want to say. I think that first episode was good. The next two episodes were not good, and then the rest was
I agree.
good, and then the rest was pretty good. You know, the rest of the episodes were good, and it ended. Uh, it ended, in a very good way. So I think the ending was pretty epic. Um, I mean, I wasn't expecting like the old twist there that with the other watchers and all that. I was it's pretty
Right.
good. The fight was great. So like the fight with like the watcher and the team versus the other watchers, and yeah, I enjoyed it. I think the ending was good. And overall, like I said, first episode solid. Next two episodes not good, and then the rest were pretty good. Even the Western one, which was like kind of like the Chang-Chi episode. It was weird, but it was still good.
Yeah.
Like, I liked it. So yeah, no, I'll give it a 7 as a whole. You know, not nothing too crazy. It's like
I agree.
right in the middle. It was, it was like 9, 8, and 7. Like it got progressively worse, unfortunately, because the first season was really good, and then the second season wasn't as good as the first one. It wasn't
For
bad,
sure.
but it wasn't as good. And then this one is like kind of like right in the middle. Um, yeah, I mean that's it for What If. I know that these guys are, they're working on Spider Man and other projects too. The animation guys. So we'll see what they come up with next. But yeah, what do you think of it as a whole?
Yeah, you know me. If I don't agree with you, I will be vocal. But I'm not just saying to say this. Like I agree with you on your sentiments. I think it's a fair analysis of the show. I would say the same, 7 out of 10, which is that's a
It's a
good
good
review.
score.
Like
Yeah,
that's, I mean, I think people expect Marvel to always just be, hitting tens and be perfect, and
we'll talk
I
about
think
hidden
seven
tens
is
here
fine.
talk about hidden tens here in a second, sir. But keep
Oh
going.
geez. Yeah, we will. We it's coming soon here. But yeah, like I genuinely think that that's fine. But what I don't like is it felt like two consecutive seasons of eh, not bad,
Yeah.
not great.
Okay.
Okay. I felt very similar that I felt the season two that I felt with this one. I think this one ended better than season two did. I think that this one had a better culmination for the season. But it's just tough because it's like I look back at season one and I really enjoyed season one. And there's plenty of things that they did in season two and season three that I thought was really cool concepts and fine and all. I'm not saying anything about it being horrible.
Right.
I just feel like um maybe they outdid themselves a
I
little
think.
bit story-wise so early in that first season
Yeah.
because the whole like Ultron Magnus whatever like thing
Yeah. I was
wasn't.
gonna
I
say
know that's
Ultron
crazy, but it was
Sigma.
awesome. Yeah, Ultron
I was gonna say
Sigma.
Ultron Sigma from Marvel vs.
Yeah,
Capcom
more
Infinite.
Capcom. I mean, it kind of was.
It kind of was. Yeah, no, that couldn't top it. I mean, he came back though for the ending, so
Right,
yeah,
right. That's what I'm saying.
yeah, it was good. Like it was like him
Yeah,
coming back. It was pretty awesome. So,
for
yeah,
sure.
no, that was it. For What If. Not much to say there, sir. I don't know where you're at. I don't know if you even started, but I finished Cobra Kai, the second part of the final season. Um,
Yeah, I only started a couple episodes.
okay. So now that the show's over, I'm not gonna spoil it for you, right? But now that the show's over, and even though it's not like it's not high art, right? It's not
Oh no,
absolute
no, they know what
cinema.
they are.
It's not
They know
absolute
what they are.
cinema, right? They know,
Yeah,
yeah. That's the thing. They know what
they're
they are.
self-aware.
They know what they are, and I think that there should be a case study of any legacy franchise being brought back, be it Star Wars, Ghostbusters, um, anything, Indiana Jones, right? Right, all these old franchises that are struggling into, uh, I guess, moving into this new era of cinema, if you want to say, or television.
Right, right.
Um, uh, there should be a case study on how to do it well, because this show, like, this not only, it was like a huge love letter to the originals, right? It set up like the next generation in a way that makes sense, and no one was mad about it.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you need to do, right? So I think, like Lucasfilm specifically, they should take note. And then Colombia with like Ghostbusters and whatever else they want to bring back, because they keep talking about bringing back stuff. They should, Sony in this case, they
Right.
should do that, right? I think Top Gun is another prime example on how to do it well, right?
Oh, for
Um,
sure.
so man, like uh, it felt a little bit rushed, and I think it's just that they ran out of time, right? In some areas towards the end, but I think that it brought closure for everyone, and they ended it in a very, very good way, and it was good. It was good. Like
Oh,
those
for sure.
those last second part, it's nuts, bro. Since like the beginning of the episode, I watched a really funny review. I forgot the name of the channel. Um, I forgot it, but I saw a really funny review. It's like, and it's like all of this happened over karate, and it's like, it's stupid, but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just fun, and it's what makes TV fun, right? It's like, you don't
Yeah.
have to be like, and we've said it a million times, right? I watch TV and movies just because I want to have fun, right?
Right.
Like, I don't want to. Like, it's fine every once in a while you watch, a historical masterpiece, and that's great. But dude, just give me all this stuff. I'll eat it up if it's good, right? Because there's been cases, like, again, best example, we could always go back. Our go-to example is She-Hulk, right? Um, you know, not everything is good, and even if you try to make it good and funny, it's not necessarily going to be good and funny. So, but I think they did a great job, dude. Hats off to this guys, like, on their freaking, like, they're they're in their 60s, and they're spinning around doing, like, I mean, of course they got stunt doubles, but you can tell that they're like, a lot of them, a lot of the moves they did them themselves, and I was like, hey, props to you guys, because, like, I can, I have to get out of bed and go into a stretching regimen. So, uh, props to them. And if one thing, there's one, like, especially in this last few episodes, I don't know why, but there's one specific actor, I'm not gonna say who, um, that I guess had a lot of trouble conveying emotion, and it was a character with a great character arc, but didn't, like, the delivery wasn't there. It was weird. It was like I'm tired kind of thing. It was very
Mm,
strange. You'll see it. You'll see it.
mhm,
But especially
mhm.
on those last episodes. Um but I enjoyed it. Like, I'm a sucker, like Karate Kid, man. I loved, like the OGs, and when this show was announced to come out on YouTube, I was like, oh, it's unfortunate. I'm not gonna pay for YouTube Red or whatever. So, I'm glad that we got the opportunity to actually watch it outside of YouTube, and I enjoyed it. It was good. So, yeah, check it out
No,
for
that's
sure.
awesome.
Yeah,
I look forward to catching up, and definitely we could talk about more as I finish through it.
yeah,
But yeah, when you mentioned just the case study and, like, what the show is, and like it's not trying to be Shogun or like an Emmy winning. I'm not saying it obviously it can get its recognition in different varieties, but it's not
Right.
trying to be this artsy thing. It's just trying to be something that's like for the
For
fans,
the
and it feels like
fans.
it's by the fans. Like everything that they do
Almost, yeah.
feels like feels like a fan fiction, but not in a bad way. Like,
Right.
like there's some fan fiction stuff where it's like, ooh, this is cheap. This is more of like fan fiction that says like everything I read on paper is something that I fully believe someone who actually like loves this
Yeah.
franchise would come up with these ideas. And like you mentioned the setup, obviously I'm not done with it, so I'll see how I feel there. But just like it's crazy to think they brought back all these legendary characters and expanded the lore and did all these cool things, but they added these new people without trying to like these characters are there's like homages to some of the older stuff that they did,
Yeah.
like with LaRusso and stuff like that, but not exactly like they're all very unique. So when they continue on with these younger characters as time goes on, they want to keep it alive and they have these options. It's not going to be weird because like they've done such a great foundation for them that the runway is theirs. I will say though, like I'm sure you'd seen the trailer too, obviously for the Karate Kid,
Right.
for Karate Legends that's coming to the theaters.
Yeah.
I love how just like dramatically it just feels different. Like the trailer at least
Yeah.
feels different
Yeah.
than the show. Like this feels like it is a movie. It doesn't feel like Cobra Kai goes to the movies. It doesn't
Right.
feel like they're trying to like this. That actually feels like a different stylistic. And I hope the movie's good,
I hope
but
so.
it's
Yeah.
cool to see them continuing on that way.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope so. So yeah. No. It's really enjoyed it as a fan of the of the OG movies. I'm happy. So yeah.
For sure.
Sir, there's a small independent movie came out over the weekend. And to I guess not I wouldn't say mixed reviews. I guess it's mostly negative reviews, right? At this point.
Dep- Depends on which side you're looking at.
Mm.
Critics or audiences.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I thought that was interesting. I waited for a while to see, and then it was brought to my attention, and I thought that was interesting.
Interesting. Okay. I haven't even seen what the score is.
There's quite a discrepancy. There's quite a
Oh
discrepancy.
wow. Yeah. Okay. I see it, sir. Captain America: Brave New World. Tell us all about it.
Yeah. So, uh, relaunching the Captain America franchise on film, carrying off from where we left off in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where now obviously Sam is now taking up the mantle of Captain America. If you've seen any of the trailers, you know the story is around. He is working with the presidents directly upon a mission which involves retrieving a specific asset that the world, in essence, values and would like to have access to. What is that element? Can I say some spoilers like loosely here? Is it okay, or do I just
Go
tread
ahead.
lightly?
Drop
You
them.
tell me.
Drop
Okay,
them.
okay,
Mild.
okay.
Mild. Yeah.
Mild. I'll just say
Mild.
this will
Yeah.
be so. There's spoiler warning, but mild spoilers without like. I'm not gonna say cameos. I'm not gonna do that. Um, but like so like I think it was even in some of the trailers, but I know for sure they talked about it at Comic-Con. But like adamantium is the thing that was found, and this and it
In
was being mined
the
through.
yeah, from the movie that I forgot the name because everyone forgot about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eternals,
Eternals.
right? So in the Eternals, you have the Celestial that's frozen in the Arctic, and they basically Sam and they just do this by exposition. You don't see this. Sam helps them go to this specific site and retrieve this very rare a sample of this rare artifact, of course, being adamantium, and Thunderbolt Ross is now the president, and he's bringing everybody together, the world, to say like, hey, we're gonna mine this thing, and then we want to be able to share this with the world. And he wants to create a peace treaty across the world, but almost like a UN style new peace treaty because of what's happened from specifically um, the the threats from above, as he refers to it. Like
Okay.
you've had what's happened with obviously, with Thanos and other different intergalactic threats. And they're like, there's powered people out there, and his whole agenda around the registration act with obviously Civil War. So it's same character, just obviously different actor. Um, he's still trying to push for peace in his time, but by using the ability of having the specific accord or this different treaty rather between the United Nations. So that way, the United States has access to mine this specific thing, but hey, we'll share it with you guys as we do our research on it after the fact. Now, Sam's also asked to restart the Avengers, which is a huge deal, but specifically do it under the presidency, so that way it's an American-based, group that reports directly to the president. Sam feels 50-50 about it because he's like, hey, if things like if we don't agree eye to eye, like between me and you, like I want to have full control to do what we want. But if we're reporting under you, like as the president, like what happens there is not going to be an easy thing. Which
Right.
is like a great, like narratively, what they set up in this film is, I think, a really interesting piece. I think it's good writing from that standpoint. The great premise. Um, what you start to then really get into, Obed, is really just a very strange. It makes sense, but a strange series of events that they utilize to kind of unlock very conveniently why this deal won't go right. There is things that trigger series of events, and I won't spoil it. That's for people who will watch the film. Um, that it's really basically kind of a revenge style type storyline that almost circumvents the whole like this is adamantium. This is something like that's a huge deal. And instead you kind of have this shadowy figure that is kind of pulling these different strings to undo this big reveal over here to more so just have no peace in time. Which I think, like, again, there's good beats around it, but I think it falls a little bit flat in my opinion because there's a little bit of too much convenience that happens to lead you
Mm,
to these specific events.
okay.
And when you have those things happen, and then you have a film that's like, you expect it's a superhero film, we're gonna have this really incredible, culmination, this great ending, and when your big moment is a something that we've already seen in the trailers is your big thing, it kind of lets you down a little bit personally because it's everything that happened. I just felt like it was very predictable. I did not feel like there was no oh my goodness, I can't believe it type moments in the film. No, and I'm not saying this as even like comic book fan or as a Marvel fan. I just feel like in general they use exposition so much. Because like even if you didn't watch the other films, you just as long as you're smart enough to read it and pay attention to what people are doing, you're not the person who watches good guy, bad guy. Like you actually just take in the movie. It's not gonna be hard to follow.
Right.
I just think that like people's expectations were high because it's a Captain America film, and our Captain America films have been so good that then when you have these types of holes in essence that leads to the ending, that's what a lot of people have trouble with. The other thing, Obed, that was a big problem with the movie is just it's not funny. Like
Uh,
there's a lot of moments in this that are very cringy.
took itself too
Um,
seriously then.
Took itself too
Mm.
seriously. Was it the guy? Is it Torres? I want to say is the new Falcon working with Cap.
Oh yeah.
Chemi- Actors, their chemistry together, really good. They work really well together. I think it was a great idea to have the characters, but you can tell that the writers or the director, whatever. I don't. I'm not exactly sure where the direction was coming from,
Right.
but really was trying to make his character like the funny sidekick kind of character, and
Oh.
it's like over beat over drum and moments that just fall flat. Maybe sounded funny on paper, and like I don't. And you correct me if I'm wrong, but when you watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the Disney Plus series, his character was in there. I don't think his character wasn't like that at
No,
all
no,
in
no. It
that.
was it was
He was a
pretty.
military guy, and
Yeah.
he was pretty chill. In this movie, they try and make him all funny and silly and whatever, and it's like it doesn't hit the same way. Oh, let me grab a bag of chips before we go on the road, and I'm like, why are we doing this?
Mm,
So like, I think that they just there's a lot of different holes and things that hurts it. The best parts of the movie are the dramatic beats,
okay.
your fan service moments. I think Harrison Ford absolutely crushes it. I mean, it's Harrison, come on. But he absolutely does an incredible performance.
Yeah.
You could see how he's portraying a different Ross. Like this isn't like your Incredible Hulk Ross. It's like you can see how the character has changed, almost like the same way Iron Man is not the same Iron Man you see in like 2008 Iron Man, the way he is in Endgame. They
Right.
almost like let his character have like a full arc moment in the film, which is really nice. There's only one post credit scene. Not crazy important, but still cool.
I saw it.
Okay, yeah. You, see- you see, that's fine. That's fine because it's it's something you see coming there.
Yeah.
But like, okay, you know the character that obviously is
Yeah,
there at the end,
yeah,
at the end of the
yeah,
movie, right? And
yeah.
he's in the movie.
Yep.
Like when like there's a moment in the movie without spoiling when you guys watch it where one of the actors asks him, "Who are you?" And he responds, "The hero." And I'm like, that's not what your character's called at all. Like you could have done an easy wink to what your character is named.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, wait, I'm like, oh, he's gonna say it. No, he doesn't. I thought there would be some cool moments that maybe tie into a World War Hulk. No, guys,
Nothing.
don't get your hopes up for that. Nothing. Yeah, man, I don't think it was a terrible movie. I think there's many people like when I see the reviews around like a 49 or like under 50.
Yeah.
I think it's a little too harsh, personally.
Oh, interesting.
I
Okay,
think
okay.
I think it's better than the Marvels. It's clearly better than what's
Eternals.
these movies? Eternals. It's better than Madame Web. Better than Venom 3. Better than
The
Craven.
Craven.
It's like I think people like saw it and they think like it's gonna be a trash can on fire, like it's a dumpster. It's not at all. I mean,
Okay.
this movie is not
But
that kind of a movie. I've seen bad movies like that,
how did
but it is a lesson.
how did that director get picked for this movie? Because
I don't know.
like he
I don't know.
yeah, like he hasn't done anything
Did they switch
noteworthy.
directors? I don't remember.
It's it's weird. Like how are they? It's like it's like they're picking these artsy directors to direct action movies, and it's not panning out, man. Like
Right,
they
right,
would have learned with Eternals, right?
right.
You know.
And clearly, the amount of reshoots, that was a sign that I think the director was clearly having problems. There was a lot of reshoots for this movie, and that cost them a lot of money. It did not
Yep.
break $100 million at the box office. Traditionally, your second week, you have about a 50 percentile drop off,
Yeah.
40, 50. That means it's going to be in the
Which
40s, 40 million range. That's not good long term.
which I think is the same problem that Star Wars is having with the Rey movie, where they have this director is like, you're a sci-fi director, or are you a frou
Right,
artsy director? That's
right.
like they
This,
have to like again going back to J.J. Abrams. I don't think it was a problem, right? I think the problem came from above. I don't think um you know
they didn't let him do his full vision
yeah
clearly
yeah
because
exactly.
they
So
circumvented it with the second director and then he come back the third. Like it was a hot mess.
yeah I don't know, man. But they you would think that by now they would have learned their lesson, right? It's like
Yeah,
what the heck,
yeah.
guys? Like
But
honestly,
remember, this was in production from like your Chapek days. Like clearly,
yeah
this was
yeah.
2019, 2020-ish, or sorry, 2021-ish. They started to get like
2021.
more of this getting pushed. We're in 2025, guys.
Yeah,
Like
because the movie
that's
got delayed a year,
yes.
right? Yeah. So
So
this
that's a
movie would
long
have
time.
it's a long time, man.
A
It's
long
like what the
time.
heck? I really, man, like I'm hoping that Daredevil's good, and I'm hoping that Fantastic Four is good. Like I'm,
That's all I need.
mm, like I'm
I've said
I
before, those two.
if they can
That's
at
all I
least
need.
get those two, bro. And I'm telling you, everyone's sleeping on freaking Thunderbolts. I think that movie's gonna be good. I think that movie's gonna be
And,
fun.
and even if that movie's bad, I can sleep fine at night. Like
Yeah,
Thunderbolts could be bad. This movie being like,
Mm,
okay,
middle of the
not
road.
great.
Yeah,
Like, like that's fine. I'm not offended by this. I'm wearing a Marvel shirt, guys. Like I'm telling you, like I like
it's
for real.
Marvel boy over here.
Marvel boy over here. But like if you mess up Daredevil and you mess up Fantastic Four, Kevin, I mean, you just step into my office.
Kevin.
Come on the show. Step into my office. Let's have a conversation.
So, production manager's going.
We need to
You know
talk
you're
about
in
the
trouble.
production here.
You know you're in trouble. He's like, yeah.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. That was good.
You're over budget and delayed. What's going on?
What's going on, guys? Let's have a talk here.
Do you have the proper resources?
Right. Come
Yeah.
on,
It comes from a
come on.
place of well-being, right? You're just making sure that
Right.
they have the tools they need to be successful. So,
Accountability. Amazing how that
accountability.
works.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Which that seems to be the problem at Disney is like no one's accountable for anything. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, I did what I was told. It's like no,
Yeah.
what the heck?
Yeah.
So it's still a very very strange time at the Mouse House. We got a couple of video game news here real quick, but speaking of the Mouse House, I didn't have it on the notes, but did you see those articles that were out there about now there being internal concern about the prices being too high?
Oh, I believe it. I believe it because look, I mean, I think you and I talked about it on the podcast, but like they're pushing the annual passes. Like there was a time they weren't even advertising that. Like they're advertising that more in places that we know very well
Right.
and other spots. Like I mean, I'm at the movie theater and like get an annual pass today. I'm like, these commercials weren't out like this for a minute. They were trying to get people to buy at best a Florida resident 4-day magic pass, whatever, and then they were trying to get you to get a day pass. Clearly, they just need people to get in the building.
I don't know, man. And it's
I've heard the
it's,
numbers are significant of how many people are dropping and not coming back, saying like I'm not
yeah,
buying a
because that's
ticket
the
for a
thing.
while.
Like a lot of people said that they are not planning on returning, and
Yeah.
how again, bro, it's like how long have we been saying this? Like they're outpacing inflation by like 30%. It's ridiculous.
Too much. They're
So-
outpricing the good people.
Yeah, exactly. They're outpricing their core audience, and that's the problem, right? So, you know, people with families don't want to go to like Europe. They don't want to go to Hawaii. They want to go to Disney World. They want to have their kids go ride
great.
Space Mountain and have a good time, and whatever. But the problem is that when you're alien, they already did it, right? They already alienated their core audience. Like their hotels are not worth it. Like I would rather like if I would be someone that would be visiting Disney World, I would rather just stay in iDrive at one of the like at the Rosen or something, and then just drive
Absolutely.
over, because it's like it's not worth it, man. It's ridiculous. And not even going that far, I would say I'd like the Hilton across from Disney Springs. It's like it's like half the price of like the All Stars, and it's much nicer.
And you can still take a shuttle over.
And they have a shuttle. Yeah, it's ridiculous, dude. So I guess they finally saw the numbers. I was like, oh wait, did we went overboard with this stuff? It's like, yeah, you guys did. Like we've been saying it for the longest time.
Right.
So you priced me out 6 years ago. I was like, what the heck is your problem? Like I can't keep up. I gotta buy eggs now. I was like, this, like I got bigger concerns. So
nice.
yeah. It's very interesting. Very, very interesting.
Yeah.
So I still keep my ear on the ground. And it's yeah. I don't know. I don't know. It's an interesting time, right? And I think that they're also freaking out about Universal. Like right now, I think it's dawning. Like it's like they were fine, right? But I think that in the last few weeks they've been like, oh crap, like this is like what the heck are we gonna do, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And I know that some people are gonna come in for Epic Universe and they're gonna end up at Disney. That's fine, whatever. But
yeah, sure.
But I don't think that. But they're not the talk of the town anymore, and they're not gonna be the talk of the town until one of their expansions is done, which, like, are expansions that no one wants. Again, I'm not only the hardcore Disney guys want this. Like this villain's land. This is nothing. Like
And bring cars
who
and stuff
wants
like
Cars
that.
Land? Who wants like
Sure.
Monsters Inc. and oh man, I don't know. I think they finally realized it and they looked at numbers and they were like, oh wait, this is not as good as we thought it was, and what's going on? Oh man, we shot ourselves in the foot. So it's
Yeah.
yeah, well, we'll keep reporting on this, guys. I mean, we love the parks, but what the heck?
Yeah. No,
It's
100%.
you know, I don't think I'll be going to any Disney park this year. So like,
Yeah.
they have
Yeah.
nothing. They have nothing new to offer, right?
Right.
Um, my
You
kid
saved the money for Epic.
yeah, well, my kid hasn't been to and even when Epic's open, like we're probably like it's gonna be at least 2, 3, 4 months
Yeah.
until it's I say within the realm of reason of one going to
Right.
the park, right?
Consideration.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Um, but my kid hasn't been to Islands of Adventure. I would rather just go to Islands of Adventure. So, and this year, and if I can fit in Epic Universe there, I'll fit it in. I'll try it. I already talked to my kid. It's like, listen, like her birthday's in November. It's like let's see what we can pull out. Right, in November. I don't know. It's still gonna be busy, but at least summer people are gone, and if your birthday falls in the middle of the week, I haven't checked, but it's like you can skip school one day. It's fine. Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
But um, I think they're realizing it, man, and summer is gonna be really interesting. Like
Absolutely.
I can't wait to like actually like see go through the parks and see the lines like after Epic, like the lines at Disney, right, on the app, after Epic Universe opens, and see what's going on over there. So it's gonna be really interesting. Universal, hey, we're open for a preview. No load
Call us.
time.
Call us.
We'll cover um the opening. We're cheap date, so let's go ahead and move on, sir. Jolie, you tried to play online on PlayStation 2 weekends
Oh, I did.
ago.
I did. And that was rough.
So yeah, I know it's old news, but PSN was down for 20 hours last week. I know we were talking about it because we were working that night, and
Right.
and then it's like, hey, do you see PSN's down? It's like, oh, and you're like, oh, what? It's like, and then nothing was working. It's like, yeah. It's like it went out like it went down like 3 hours ago, and no one's been able to get online. And the app was down, everything was down. And then that night, the app came back up for me. Then the next morning, I turned on the PS5, and then it was downloading updates. Like I could download stuff and I could get to the store, but I could not. But I could not log in to my profile, so I cannot play online. So, as far as I know, they have not given a reason, right?
No,
Which is
they
very
didn't say
interesting.
why. They didn't say why, but it was a significant. Like I was following, waiting for like they had to put a statement out. You and I talked about this.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
it's long enough. It just barely hit just like literally 24 hours. And the last time something like this happened, I think it was maybe like 12 hours, maybe something like that. It was like maybe like a 10
Yeah.
p.m. to like a 10 a.m. or something the next day or something like that. This was a long time.
Yeah, and I don't think it was necessarily like a security issue because they're obligated to state it.
Right.
But it was, again, being in IT, it was probably someone updated something that shouldn't have been updated, and he broke it. So that's usually the culprit. Yeah.
Oh, but did you tell them that they should have tried turning it on and back off?
All the time, sir. All the time. Excuse me, not turning it off and turning it back on. Restart. Because of Windows Fast Boot, you need to restart. You cannot shut down and power back on. You need to restart. Yeah. Unless you have a Mac, then you don't have to do anything until you get your new one. You're good to go.
Right. I know a
So,
little bit about
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, your daily driver, right?
Yep, yep, yep.
But yeah, more than likely that's what happened. It was someone patched something that should have been patched and broke some sort of connectivity somewhere or authentication. Like it seemed like the problem was authentication, and they brought it down for a bit just to see what the problem was. Which
Right.
that's normal. Troubleshooting steps, but um, I think they should have, in my opinion, right? They should have communicated the issue that night as it was happening, and not waited until, hey, service is back on. Sorry about the inconvenience. That was not good.
Got it.
So yeah. Um, and before we go into the state of play um, for the week, did you see, Joe, the Shuhei Yoshida retired, and now
Yep.
he's spilling the beans?
Now he's got it because
Oh
he's not under
man,
contract.
it's like Jim Ryan. Yeah, I told you, bro, that all this stuff that was that all this like games as a service games that got canceled, that was all Jim Ryan. And he's like, oh yeah, he was the one that pushed everyone to do that, and he
Storytime.
pushed me into doing some stuff. And he told me if I didn't go to the indie people, I would just resign. I should just resign. So we told you guys, like Jim Ryan and Bob Chapek are cut from the same cloth, man. Those two guys belong together. Like
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that should be like a match made in hell somewhere in some company that ends up with
Matchmaker.
Bob Chapek and Jim Ryan as their like bosses. Can you freaking imagine that? And and
It's
and
so crazy that you kind of want to see it
oh
happen.
my god! And then they had them too, and then and then you get the Xbox guy. It was Dom Matrick. And then you get Dom
Yeah,
Matrick.
Patrick.
And oh man, you get those three guys together. It's like the freaking horsemen of the corporate apocalypse there. It's
Jeez.
insane. But we knew that Jim Ryan, he's not a creative. He's a
No, no,
PR guy.
no.
He's a sales guy. And
Right,
and we
right.
knew from the beginning that he was not the best choice to to run PlayStation. So it
No,
looks
we knew, we
yeah,
knew.
it looks like um, you know they're steering the boat. They're moving in the right direction now. Um, and Yoshida also said that yeah, basically PlayStation putting their games on PCs like basically printing money. So um, there's that. Uh, there's a lot of Xbox stuff going on this week. I don't want to really talk about it. We talked about Xbox a lot, um,
Yeah.
and it's like nothing new that there's nothing new that we haven't already said. So we've
Right,
already
right.
we've already said what people are saying right now. We covered it, weeks ago. So what people are talking about now, No Load Time has talked about weeks ago. Um,
Yeah, we were
not
ahead of
not
it.
not not because we have insiders. It's just sometimes you get small channels like ours that kind of know what they're talking about. So, sir, state of play. There's a lot of people were unhappy with the state of play. I thought it was pretty good. Um, Not mind blowing, but I think PlayStation is doing something very interesting, which is investing in Asian studios, small studios, and giving them the opportunity to put out their games on their consoles. So there's a few of those games, a few character action games. Character action games are back. Yay, that's awesome. I mean, they kind of never went away, but now they're like back. So that's great. All right, let's start. So Los Sol aside, Los Sol aside. I don't know if you remember, like many years ago when Unreal Engine 4 was being was made available. There was this one person that did this like tech demo of like this guy fighting, kind of like Devil May Cry almost. Final Fantasy, what was supposed to be Final Fantasy 13 Noctis or whatever it was called back then, versus 13. Um, So that game is now a reality. The game is coming out on PlayStation and PC. Due to be released this year. It looks very, very good. And yeah, it's I guess it's already up for pre-order out there. So that's pretty awesome. It looks good. I mean, definitely a game that I'll be keeping an eye on. Oh, by the way, I started Wukong over the weekend. The game is sick. This game is really good, man. The game is really good. So it's very authentic, very Chinese, but it's in a good
Okay.
way. In a good way. A good
Okay.
way.
Yeah.
Not in a
It's
producer Tony
authentic.
kind of way. It's
Oh, shout out to producer Tony.
producer Tony.
You
Um,
know, you know.
it's kind of like Sekiro. Like if you take
Yeah.
Sekiro and you set it in China, it's almost kind of like that. It was
That's
very
cool. That's
good.
cool.
It's very good. So I'm really really enjoying it. Borderlands 4 got a release trailer, so that's coming out soon on PlayStation. September 23rd. I think, Joel, that they know when GTA is coming out, and GTA. My prediction is that GTA is coming out at least a month after September 23rd.
Mm.
Yep. So
It's late.
either the end of October, beginning of November. I think that's when GTA is coming. It's coming out.
It's late
So
in the year, but
yeah, I think you'll see games move out of the way during that time, and
yeah.
that's why
Yeah.
the Nintendo that's why the Switch 2 is not releasing in fall. It's gonna be releasing summer because they're gonna stay away from that October November date. I don't want Mario to get literally carjacked in November.
Oh.
In November by
Oh.
GTA.
I can already see the memes, the edits.
I don't wanna. No, Mario needs to come out in September if there's a new Mario coming out. I know Mario Kart's gonna be a release title. That you
Yeah.
can. That's almost a certainty. So he's not gonna lose his go kart at least for whatever comes out,
Oh,
whatever the
jeez.
3D Mario is. Um, I hope they stay away. I hope Nintendo's smart enough, right? Also, by the way, I finished listening to the audiobook for Console War, and yeah, man, Nintendo knows how to stay out of the way. They'll wait it out. They can play the waiting game, so they're good. Um, Directive 8020, which is a sci-fi horror game by the guys that did was The Quarry and Until Dawn. So that got announced. There's a new Five Nights of Freddy's. Darwin's Paradox. So this is a game by Konami that it's basically an octopus against aliens. And the game, if you watch the trailer and you know Konami, you can see that the game has a stealth element to it. This game is a tech demo for the next Metal Gear. They're testing their stealth tech
Konami
to
would.
put it on whatever the next Metal Gear is.
Yeah.
That I know, yeah, and we know because like we've said it before, like Bowser's Fury is a tech demo for whatever the next Mario is, and
Yes.
and that's usually whenever developers do or big developers like Nintendo, Konami, Capcom, whenever they do a smaller project that's trying to do something new, it's because they're testing it for their next big game, and they want to make sure that the tech works, and they want to have it down. That's my prediction for this thing. I think that Konami is going to announce another Metal Gear, probably Game Awards, because Metal Gear got a release date. We'll talk about it here in a minute. But I think that's what's gonna happen with this little game. Onimusha 2 got shadow dropped, a remaster of the PlayStation 2 game. Onimusha Way of the Sword showed a new trailer. No date on that. That still looks pretty good. And then Metal Gear Solid Delta It's August 28th. So I still have a few weeks to finish Wukong. Then I can jump into Metaphor, and I'll be ready. I'll be ready for Metal Gear when it comes out. So that's good. There's not many like I bought something. I'm not gonna say what it is until it comes in, so I can show it
Okay.
in the podcast.
Okay.
I'll leave it for a surprise. But there's not a lot happening like in between. Like there's that Elden Ring Nightfall or whatever it's called that's being in demo. I heard it's really good. I haven't tried it. But I don't know. Like I don't want to. I want to take a break from that sort of game. If, I know it's different take, but there's not really a lot out there this year that's been announced that that's really caught my eye. So I may go back and check out some of the stuff that's on PS Plus that's been free, because there's a lot of good stuff that we've gotten for free that I haven't tried, and I really want to go back and check out some of those games. So I got plenty to keep me busy until Metal Gear comes out. So that's good. Um, there's a we got a new trailer for Hell Is Us. Kind of looks, Death Stranding meets, I guess, Senua Sacrifice almost. It's looks like it's a slower paced action game, but it does have that kind of like ethereal sci-fi vibe to it. So they released a new trailer for that. Liza Pi Overture is a DLC for Liza P. Liza P. Uh, Dreams of Another. Uh, this one is interesting because this is by the team that did the, remember those pixel junk games that were very popular on
Yeah, yeah,
PS3?
yeah.
Yep. Same guys.
They're back.
So they're back. And apparently this game is uh, will be PSVR 2 compatible. So it looks interesting. It looks like a shooter in a dream, like it's this dreamscape, but it's also a shooter. It looks interesting. So
Mhm.
I can't wait to see more of that game. So it looks really good. The game of the show to me, man, Tides of Annihilation. This game looks great. This is like, yo, I want this game. So again, a character action game, very much, Devil May Cry mixed with Bayonetta. It looks really good. Um, it had some like Final Fantasy 16 almost elements to it as well. So very good, man. Graphics looks great. Looks like they did an extended view of the game too. So I think this game's coming out soon. So yeah, we'll see. This game is done by a studio that hasn't done anything yet, but it's one of those like smaller studios that being funded by Tencent. So there's money there that they're putting money behind it. But
Right.
the game looks good. So that to me, this to me was the game of the show. And I guess the big one and the big reveal is Sorrows, which is I guess a spiritual successor to Returnal. It's by the guys over at Housemark. And yeah, I heard Returnal's real good. I haven't played it. I heard it's really, really good. But a lot of people are really excited about this one. So yeah, that was pretty much it. Nothing too crazy. I think it's just PlayStation just getting uh stuff out of the way, doing some housekeeping before going into, spring summer, now that they have that E3 thing, what Icon announced for next year, and
Right.
Games of Summer's coming out soon. So I think they just wanted to get stuff out of the way before Nintendo does their thing, and then have them have their day. They'll come back in the summer, do something else. Um, yeah, what do you think of this showcase, man?
I thought it was a fine showcase. Yeah, I think some people, like you said, maybe treated it like as if it wasn't a good one. I didn't think it was bad. They didn't have any like major knockout shocker, steal the show type moments. Is probably why people were maybe a little more critical of that, but I think they can afford to have a state of play like this. It's not bad. It's fine. Everyone take a chill pill. The things that they put out here, there's plenty of things to look forward to, plenty of things to find interesting. It's gonna be a fine year for gaming. We'll be all right.
Yeah, we'll be fine. Yeah, there's plenty. And Marvel Rivals is still around. So.
Right, gosh,
Oh,
we're gonna play that again
Do you see
soon.
the Ben Grimm and Johnny Storm trailers?
Yeah,
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 let's go. It
right,
looks good.
yes. We're good. We are so good.
Yeah. Those game that game is real good, man. So I can't wait to actually stream it again. Yeah, I know that there's the PlayStation's cooking, like they're doing stuff. Ghost of Yote is coming out this year if it doesn't get delayed, but um when's Assassin's Creed coming out? That got delayed again. Like
That did get delayed. I can't remember what the new date is
I
on
think it's a
that.
month. It's like next month. Shadows, right?
Yeah, Shadows.
March 20th.
Yep.
That is very interesting. Um the game looks good.
Yeah,
I know that I know. I know.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But the game like when you show it to me like gameplay wise, it looks fine. So
yeah, yeah.
um
I think it will have a big release. Let's be real; those games always do.
yeah, yeah. I'm hoping it does well. So I know it's gonna review well. I don't know if it's gonna be well received by like the general gaming audience,
Yeah,
but I know it's gonna review well. So
and that's what I'm personally waiting on, like for it to confirm for the confirmation on that, and then I may pick it up. To be honest,
okay, all right, cool.
so
I mean, that's fair. So yeah. Cool, man. I did a quick scrub. There's not much happening. Slow news weeks. If next week is slow again, I don't know, man. Marvel
there, there
Rivals.
might be some more
There's
streaming.
always so much
More of
streaming.
a rival.
Yeah. Now, yeah, that's your cue. Like if you guys, if you, I'm sorry if you're only listening to the audio version, but if it's a slow news week, and we really haven't watched anything, more than likely we'll be on YouTube streaming
Right.
Marvel Rivals or something else, right? We can do like Ninja Turtles one day or something else. But yeah, man, that's what we got for today, Saul. Let's go ahead and wrap it up.
We're so good. No, everyone, thank you so much for sticking with us. We encourage you to stay tuned, stay subscribed. Like Obed was saying, if you're watching on our video platform on our YouTube channel, thank you for being here. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, like, comment, all that good stuff. Everything you always hear the YouTubers say. Simple way of showing support by simply taking action. No monetary action, but just literally a few clicks helps us out. But if you also would please make sure you also subscribe to the audio version. We're on Spotify, SoundCloud, Amazon Music. Find us, subscribe to the show there. Additionally, if you would make sure that you follow us on social media at No Load Time. If you're watching a video version, you can see all of our social media handles down below. Additionally, you can also support us on Patreon if you do want to support us monetarily. Shout out to producer Tony and others who would support our show. We really would appreciate it. You can do that with patreon.com/no load time. Patreon.com/no load time, as little as $1 a month. And you can support our show, literally just $1. And that's a great way to support us. And we would give you a shout out on the show and helps cover some of the costs of the things that we do because we just do this from our heart for fun. And we're glad to have you guys with us here on the journey. Last but not least, if you have a question, comment, feedback, and if you're Universal and you want advice to Epic Universe, you can send an email to noloadtime@gmail.com. That's noloadtime@gmail.com. And possibly what you send in, we'll even talk about on a future episode. Thank you so much, and we look forward to being with you guys next time.
Thank you guys. Stay safe. We will see you again next time.